but it's my fault. I had to be gone for a little minute to heal up. So we big. Okay, so today we're doing unexpected business opportunities because there has been a lot of that in the last, I would say, a lot of little examples of it in the last 2 to 3 weeks of unexpected business opportunities. If you recognize them quick enough and you're not bogged down with this imposter syndrome to actually execute on it.
Hmm.
So a lot of times when you get these opportunities, imposter syndrome is what's gonna hold you down because you don't think you can just hop right into market with a bare minimum project or a quickly thought out project. Most of the time, they're not even bare minimum. They're literally just quickly thought out, and you just don't think they're good enough to go to market with. But
Right.
more than likely, your audience is already there, and you can go to market with these products or ideas or classes and make some money off of it.
Yep.
You got
So
anything there?
all the stuff that's been going on. I know we talked offline about the whole situation with Kiki, and we'll get into that
Yeah.
in a second. But I think a lot of times we're not looking for those opportunities, or we don't know them, we don't realize it when it comes up. And so
Right.
there's a that we can talk about to kind of give people insight as to how you can recognize when this is another opportunity, and then how do you capitalize off of it. But not just that, like, how do you make the decision on whether or not it's one that's worth pursuing? Because sometimes things come up and it feels like it could be a good secondary business opportunity or something like that, but then it ends up not being something that you want to pursue. And
Hmm.
you know make that decision.
Yeah, because like a lot of, like you said, you'll start something thinking that you want to pursue it, and then it end up not being your thing. But I think a lot of times we look at those, like we see other people doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and we think that's something that's in our wheelhouse or that's something our personality can handle. And you get started not realizing the type of work that has to be done with it. It doesn't really align with what your goals are or your personality is or even what your interests are. You just thought it might just be a good thing to do for extra income or whatever, not realizing you're not really in a position or want to be in a position to put in that particular work to make it actually something to capitalize off of.
Yep.
So, on the unexpected business opportunities, a lot of what we're saying now, especially like with threads or whatever, is getting in on the ground level.
Mm-hmm.
And so you posted something today on there, like all of these new thread growth
Yes.
coaches popping up. And it's like, how on earth? Threads is 3 days old.
It's an infant.
It's 3 days old. It don't even have its eyesight yet because it's an infant. It's not even at the hospital. It hadn't even been released. The developers of it don't even know where it's going to end up because they didn't even know it was going to clock 10 million users in 7 hours, which is that's a record breaking sign up rate anyway. It took other apps like 300 and something days, 700 something days, like years to get to 10 million followers, and they got that within 7 million. So you do see people getting in on the ground level, which is smart, but it's also risky because you have people like us who call you out, like, how on earth are you going to tell me how to grow something that's 3 days old? Like you don't know. We're all learning this together. Now, as the app matures and you start figuring out, and once it has algorithms on there, it doesn't even have algorithms yet.
Exactly. Yep.
You're literally exposed to everyone how OG Instagram used to be. That's why it's so popular, and that's why it feels so native and comfortable because it has that OG feel. Like you literally get exposure just for being on there. You're just posting. People will see your stuff because there isn't any for you page. There are no algorithms. There's no I saw you looking at that's just not there right now.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? How are you gonna teach me how to grow on here?
Well, you know what it is. it's the old I'll apply what I think works from other spaces here. And the
Mm-hmm.
mistake there is that you don't know how this works yet. You don't know what the intention is. You don't know what it's going to grow to become. You don't know what they're going to change based on
Mm-hmm.
user feedback. We're almost in this beta space, if you think about
Yeah.
it. We're all like beta users at this point. And we don't know what the intention of this platform is going to be, if it's going to be exactly like Twitter, if it's going to be a little different. And so how can you tell me you know a way to grow in a space that just came about and nobody even knows the end intention yet, not even the developers? Like,
Right.
profiling these people, they with the bullshit. Like, it's nothing else.
I mean, what's crazy is it is a business opportunity because people are gonna follow
Yes,
who just don't know. So you're gonna think they have some type of pretty inside information, which they probably don't. They're just looking it up like you can look it up and they're gonna do their research like you could do the research. And I hate this particular business model. It works if the people follow me think
right.
it works. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know how to articulate that as well as I want to, but they get popularity, they get gains, they get the money as long as people buy into it. Like, oh, they know what they're talking about. But in reality, they really, honestly, truly don't know more than what you know about this platform because we're all literally new at this platform. Unless it's one of their own developers or somebody who works in the threads, metasphere, or whatever, they don't know more than you know.
Right.
They don't know more than we know. We're all in this together, learning together, getting our legs and feet underneath us. That app is so in the beginning stages that you legit can't even delete it without deleting your Instagram.
Exactly.
That's how new and this is how new and unrefined the app is. You can't even separate the two. So you don't know. But it is a business model. I've seen people generate a lot of money off of that business model. The I learned as you learn business models basically like it works as long as the follower. It gives me MLM vibes. The multi-level marketing kind of vibe. That's kind of what it gives me.
Yeah.
Am I
No,
wrong?
no, I think you're right. I think it's I just hate how, like you said, that I adopted this almost one size fits all type of situation where,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm gonna I'm gonna apply this box that I created across everything that I do and it should work. And the
Right.
reality of the situation is it doesn't. That's not how it's supposed to work. Now, the caveat is we've done a really good job of cutting out the middleman. So when you think
Mm-hmm.
who you're reaching days, you're not filtered anymore by any marketing experts, any big business with a specific strategy that's looking out to target you, or any, long-term marketing strategy that was put together. That's no longer the case anymore. Like, it's all now. Like, if I want to sell you something, all I gotta do is post it on, and
Mm-hmm.
you gonna buy it. Like, there's no middleman anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for exposure, but then what you end up doing is like I said, there's no filter to tell you whether or not this is legit, whether the person
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
in the space, whether or not they know what they're talking about. You're making decisions based on their social media trends, or their
Absolutely.
or followers they have, or how many other people. You're literally in this bubble of making decisions based on popularity and trends. And
Yeah.
it's a good thing and a bad thing, because it sucks to the point of you get to a space where you may not make the right decision and you may end up wasting money. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to who have said, I wasted money on a coach because this
Mm-hmm.
big following, and they said they knew XYZ, and they ended up not being able to help me because they couldn't help me with what I needed help with. And they applied.
Oh yeah, that's going on with the what's that case where they getting indicted for I didn't get indicted for murder charges, but they put a hit out on this girl. It's a credit coach. She was trying to and the girl paid her, did the packages, and she noticed that she wasn't getting the results
Mm-hmm.
from that the package had said she was getting, and she called her out, and was getting trying to get when I know the name, but
Right.
now that I'm talking about it, you haven't heard about it. The girl hired somebody from Memphis, put a hit out on this girl, and the girl that she put the hit out on, well, the girl that she hired reached out to the girl she was supposed to get and was like, I'm just finessing her. I'm trying to get this money. Ain't nothing gonna happen to you. It's a whole thing. I'm gonna have to
Oh.
send you the thing. Girl, you learn a lot from TikTok, honey. But it's this whole thing going on. But she's this popular coach, who's supposed to clear up your credit and this and that. And without those algorithms or that additional fact checking or people that you can, look like, oh wait, this ain't that. But the girl ended up, putting a hit out on, gave her a cease and desist letter because the victim was making these videos like, no, I'm losing money. It's a scam. Y'all don't fall for this. And the girl, the scam went, left field. So it's a whole debacle.
Oh my God.
The victim was talking to the FBI.
Sounds familiar.
It's a big,
Like,
it's a big thing, and I know you know the name, but I cannot think of it right now. What is the girl's name?
I've heard something similar though, and like especially with credit repair people with credit repair. Oh my God.
Credit, taxes, oh, those people, those things.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to be so careful with those folks.
So careful. So careful. But there is the thing about getting in on the ground level. Is it good? Yes. You have the pros are the exposure you get because those algorithms aren't in the way. But with that, it's the most risky, especially if we're talking about investments or startup companies and stuff like that, because you just don't know the future. Like you were saying, like even of this app, you just don't know where they're going in the future and what that's going to look like. You don't know if it's going to model so heavily on its predecessor or not. It could go a whole another way. Like Insta was its own thing at first, and you wouldn't think that basically a picture app, because that's what it was, just glorified, just still pictures, would have all these videos live. But we should have known, because Zuckerberg has been slowly taking over every social media app since Facebook. Like, he has been doing it the whole time. Like, that's his goal here. He's going to be the main social media guy.
Yeah, and think about like where Facebook started. Facebook was just, it was for classmates to find, and that was their original intent. Now everybody's on Facebook. There's, travel groups and all types of businesses are on Facebook. You can sell things on Facebook. There's a whole market. Like 10, 15 years ago, we didn't see that coming from Facebook. We thought it was just, I can catch up with my whole class.
Because it launched in what, 04, 05? I was just getting out of I was just getting out of high school or going into college, and it was only for college. People don't even remember that. You couldn't just get on there if you wasn't in a university somewhere. Like, no, it was for college, to find your classmates, to talk to them. Now you got your auntie, uncles, everybody on there. So we don't know where it's going. We don't know what thread's gonna be. We just don't know. It can literally be anything. And if you think about Facebook in its original form, the very first question they ask you is what's on your mind. So it was kind of the predecessor for Twitter. It was the blueprint really for that. So okay.
To Miss Kiki.
Oh Lord. Okay, so Miss Kiki, we ain't gonna even. I'm not gonna get into whether or not you think it was wrong, right, or whatever. But I am gonna get into Miss Kiki staying her bag Palmer because you ain't finna keep this girl down. She hilarious to me. I don't know what. All I know is Stedman would never, and he would just never. That's what I know for sure. He would never. But on that one, that's like turning the lemons into lemonade
Yeah.
type of thing. Beyonce did it. Um, Shoot, our old girl Tina Turner, rest her soul, she did it. All the stuff she went through, that girl made her bank off of what she had to endure, and what she went through.
Mm-hmm.
So same thing with Kiki. It's a tale as old as time. You turning them lemons into lemonade. We're not even gonna address the tomfoolery. The way I'm gonna address it is I'm gonna control the narrative, and I'm gonna drop this merch, and y'all can figure out where I stand on the situation.
Right.
And I ain't mad. I'm not mad at her
And you
whatsoever.
know who else did it? So Nene Leakes is notorious for doing this.
Yes.
Every time she had some kind of drama on Housewives, she capitalized on it somehow, whether it was a merch, whether it was a speaking opportunity, whether it became a slogan that everybody uses. Everybody uses the Nene meme. Everybody. You can't tell me she's not getting a coin off of it. Evelyn Lozada, she did it.
Oh Lord, I forgot about her.
Yes. Remember, you are a non-motherfucking factor.
You're a non-factor. Yep.
Factor.
You sure?
Yes.
I was saying that so heavy that whole year. That was a vibe. But in like Kiki, she done made a remix of a sound that she did. She was in an interview of like, I don't even know if you saw the interview. She's like, I got many buckets to choose from, sweetheart. And if you gonna act up, I'm gonna link up. She done made a whole sound like they remixed it and put a beat to it and everything. She dancing on the beat on her Instagram page. Like, I don't know if they went their separate ways or not from this. It could have been something that could have been resolved, but when you bring in
offline,
offline, what I say, but when you bring in the internet and now you making money off the merch, yes. I mean this is too big of an L for me personally. I don't think I could ever. We can't talk no more. I'm done with you. I'm done with you. We can't talk.
And then she dropped the I Am a Mother shirt. And I'm
while serenading her baby, and I'm blind. I'm Stevie to the BS. I'm like, yeah, I would just pack my stuff because I can't show my face no more. How can you show your face?
Right.
I can't show my face. We can't be together. We can't be together. Mm-hmm. But again, that is not having an imposter syndrome. Kiki got that together within 3 days?
Yeah.
4 days?
Yep.
You have to, when that opportunity like that, and how do you realize that it will be okay? How did she know that it was gonna sell? Because she clearly has the support of the people. They made themselves very clear. I am going to support Keke Palmer. And in the decisions that she made, I admire her. Like, you could just tell the response of the public to what happened, that she knows, like, oh, this would be a perfect opportunity. Mm-hmm. But you can't get caught up on it being perfect. You can't get caught up on your product being, again, perfect, or you having that syndrome like, oh, I don't think it's good enough, or are people gonna buy? Let them buy it. Just do it. You have to see what you have already, and you have to believe like, okay, this is an opportunity. Even if the girl sold a couple, it's something there. You know what I'm saying? And people buying your things, they can generate content for you. Mm-hmm. When they buy their stuff, when they buy your stuff, they film it, they put it out. It was just a golden opportunity, and this girl has been in the industry for so long. If anybody knows when it's okay to make money, or when, or how, or what opportunity you can make money off of. She definitely knows.
Mm-hmm.
The Beyonce definitely knows. Like, I think the Lemonade album did record numbers.
Yep.
I feel like all the Beyonce albums did record numbers, but it did record numbers because people were so interested in the story
Mm-hmm.
of what was going on, and they really thought that was going to give them some insight to it. And you are monetizing people's curiosity. It's exactly what Kiki did as well. Like, she know y'all are waiting for a response, and her response is, "Pay me." Here's where and you can come up with where she stands on this. She could have very well went home and was like, "Sorry," and whatever. Y'all don't know what went on behind the scenes, but she got this. She got this content out of it. She got this merchandise out of it, and y'all can make whatever decisions y'all think. But she's directing you to her. Her response is, "If that, pay me." Like, this is what we gonna do here.
Yeah, I think her and her team did a really good job of recognizing this opportunity because, like, Joe and I were talking about this in the car. How many women out there have probably been in the same situation or have felt they were in a similar space? You know, you just had a baby. You've worked hard to get your body to snap back and to come back to where you feeling normal again. You feeling like yourself again, and you know, some dude try to tell you what it is you need to be or what you're supposed to be or how you're supposed to represent him, not realizing you have just had a child, you're coming off, you know, whatever emotional stuff that was happening. Your confidence is coming back because while you're pregnant, you weren't feeling like your normal self. Your body was all crazy. Your hormones were quite crazy, whatever is going on. And so how many other women have probably felt like that? Even whether we're not arguing right or wrong, right?
Right.
We're not
Right.
outfit. We're not talking about what he said. We're not talking about none of that. We're talking about the ability to connect with an audience who recognize the fact that some woman out there was being quote unquote body shamed by her own dude. Dang, I have felt like that before. Dang, I have felt like some guy was telling me what I could and could not do, or some guy telling me what a mother should look like. But you don't want to have a conversation about what a father should look
like. Or a woman in general, not even what a woman in general. Like, so and we're from the South, so you know that's a huge thing down here.
So the message, them being able to hone in on the fact that the message spoke to so many people in a specific audience, and then turning around and saying, okay, well, what part of that message spoke to the audience so much? It was the I'm a mother part. Somebody's telling me what a mother should be or what a mother should look like. I'm gonna make this shirt in whatever form I come in. This shirt is gonna say I'm a mother. Period. It matter.
Period.
And yeah, what you think a mother should be. This is, and they did a really, really good job of noticing that and watching it for a second and trying to see where people kind of landed and then capitalizing on it. And that's that a lot of entrepreneurs kind of miss sometimes, because you get into the day-to-day regular routine of what it is your regular job is. And you bring up this example all the time, but Pinky Cole and Slutty Vegan, she has done a phenomenal job of realizing business opportunities that come up that weren't originally in her scope. She is a vegan restaurant, but now she's a whole brand. She's a whole vegan brand. She has all these different ventures. I think she has clothing too, all types of merch, just from her watching her audience and watching her, you know, how her business impacts the audience and what it is that they're looking for, what it is that the reactionary stuff. And that stuff you really got to pay attention to when you're in this new space of doing business. It's not, there are no more marketing firms, right? It's not, this isn't a Mad Men situation anymore where you hire somebody to do all this. you got to do your own marketing. You got to know your audience. You got to know who you're selling to, who you resonate with really, really well. And if you know that, you'll see all the opportunities pop up that make sense for you. But but you got to learn to pay attention, and a lot of people just don't.
Yeah, because going even into that, even if it was like this madman situation where you hire this marketing firm, you still do work. You
Yeah,
still have to do the work. They don't know your company. They don't know who your audience is. All they have is what the previous information has told them before, but your business could be set up something totally different.
right.
So you still have to do their research and do their work and tell them, hey, this is what I've made my money from. This is the audience that resonates with me, and this is why they resonate with me. So you're still going to have to put in that work, even if you're hiring out. You're going to
Yeah.
have to still know these things. And on Pinky Cole, or another reason why she's so successful is she found a way to serve or service an underserviced community.
Mm-hmm.
We are in the South, and when you are around a black population in the South or in a black dense neighborhood in the South, it's more than likely will be a food desert around. More than likely. We're not gonna get into the reasons as to why, because that's a whole nother seminar. But anyway, that's a whole nother seminar. But she recognized an underserved community, and as far as black and vegan in the South, which I mean, if you meatless in the South in some areas, that's just, I mean, blasphemy, really, honestly, truly. So introducing a vegan lifestyle, even though this isn't the quote unquote healthiest vegan lifestyle, it's still, she gave an option to what veganism could look like
Mm-hmm.
that can change their perspective. Like you just eating unseasoned lettuce every day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you can have a hearty meal that tastes good, that feels like comfort food. I mean, and still be vegan. And she basically introduced this to a community that thinks contrary most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I mean, amongst other reasons as to why she's so freaking successful, but she does a really, really good job. And I think she even had an interview that she spent a ton of money on the front end. Like this wasn't a fly by night thing for Pinky Cole. Like she just had this feeling like this was gonna be good, but she recognized the business opportunity of what she was doing and how needed it was in the space
Mm-hmm.
that she occupied. And so she got all those trademarks out on the front end. So she handled a lot of her business on the front end, which is very expensive. So even though this was an unexpected business opportunity in a way, she still planned for it. So this was a longer route, but it was a more sure bet, if that makes sense. It's not as risky as getting in on the ground floor with something. Even though it was like a startup thing, there was still a demand there for black veganism,
Right.
but good black veganism, and where you could go to a restaurant and get those comfort foods, but not deal with the meat product.
Mm-hmm. And one of the bigger things about it is like when you're talking about unexpected business opportunities, we always say you got to be looking out for them. But there's like triggers or little things that you can, like, if you're really in tune with your business and you have set a good intention on what it is that you're doing in the first place, then it's easy for you to recognize other opportunities because they always align with something that you're working on right now. And
Hmm.
the other key kind of signal is not just it aligning, but you're seeing a demand. And remember, the point of being in a business is not just to make money, it's to serve
Hmm.
an audience or a target of certain types of individuals. So if you think about like the one of the textbook examples of this is Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon was a book subscription company, period. That's what they were. That's what they wanted to do,
Yep.
to make everybody have accessibility to books. What they started to realize was that buying books online was great, but a lot of people wanted to, with the digital age, they want to move to digital books. Okay, so then they came up with the Kindle idea, right? Kindle
Mm-hmm.
didn't do that well. It did okay, but then it kind of drowned out. So then they started paying attention to the market. What do people really want to do? Well, people want access to stuff that they can buy whenever they want to buy it and not have any fuss about it. So
And they want it
yeah,
fast.
dove into that, because when you have a system already in place where you have a plethora of books, why not make it a plethora of products across the board? And that's how the evolution of Amazon happened. They started with selling books, but then they noticed people really like to shop online, and they really want to access whatever they want to access whenever they want it. So why not give them that? And they built that platform to be more than books. Now you can buy any damn thing on Amazon.
Right.
So,
And which is a problem within itself as well, because you think you might be buying one thing and you're buying something totally different or less value or something cheaply made, because the way Amazon works out is they reach out to individual shop owners and they sell on the platform. That's how you got so much access to everything around the freaking world. And like we said earlier on, what's so scary about that is that the built-in protection is kind of gone. The algorithm is kind of gone. Like, you don't have that safety net or that firewall. Like, whoa, 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 this ain't the real ones. I guess if you can look at the reviews, but we all know, like any statistic, a review can be, they can hire people to type in great reviews to kind of push down the bad stuff and make that scale unequal. So Amazon is great for what Amazon is great for, but you gotta watch out as well.
yeah, but I mean, they're still like capitalizing on the unexpected stuff. Like, who
Yeah.
20 years ago, Amazon, or how 30 years ago, Amazon would dive into data and cloud storage? Nobody.
Yeah, nobody.
But they saw a need and they saw a trend and they jumped in on it. Now Amazon has cell phone service and if you're a Prime member, you can connect your cell service to your Prime account and get a discount, and you can buy your phone on Amazon. So it's like these things that you can't tell me Jeff Bezos had that in plan 30 years ago. He didn't.
No. It wasn't even, no, none of that was crossing his mind 30 years ago. He was trying to make a buck out of his garage and he thought that was the way. It happened. Here we are. And he a freaking multi-billionaire later. And again, we're not here to get in on the ethics of billionaires and this and that and whatnot. We're just talking about the face value business of it. We all know there's nuances into all these things. We just do not have the time to go into the nuances of, billionaires, ethical morality, this, that, and the other.
Care about that.
We don't have, that ain't what we try to do. There's plenty of wonderful creators out there who will get into that with you, but we just ain't. So, because it's too much. But, and oh gosh, what was I even going to say? I forgot. Oh, like, Google is doing the same thing. Like, I'm on a Google phone right now. They have the data in the cloud, in the storage. They also have a phone plan. Like, but and there are also other companies that try to do the same thing, but they weren't as successful. Same way with Redbox. I think it's a Redbox app now. But they came out with that way too late.
They're late to the market.
So late to the market. And that's the problem with, like, this is what we're talking about with unexpected business opportunities. And you have to shut down that imposter syndrome. And you have to be smart. You can't just think, oh, this is just going to be a fly-by-night fluke. It's just a trend. Even if it is, get in on the trend.
Mm-hmm.
Get in on the trend. You can still make you a good hunk of money off a good trend.
Yep.
Then you can then reinvest into something else that's a little bit more steady or more timeless. Like, what's the shame of being in on a trend? I just can't stand it. Well, like, I just can't stand a too good for a trend type person when we talking about business.
I'll tell you who really, really fucked up not doing this early. Some of y'all may know the story. Some of y'all may not. Polaroid.
Oh yeah.
Polaroid
Mhm.
refused to move to digital cameras. They were
Mhm.
convinced nobody would buy a digital camera. It wouldn't go anywhere. I'm gonna stick to this film, and we're gonna do you're gonna keep loading these cameras.
Right.
The camera came, and Polaroid significantly lost revenues when that digital camera came around because nobody wanted to film anymore. Nobody.
Now because you gotta go out and buy film. You gotta unload the film properly, or you'll mess up all your stuff
Right.
because of exposure. Ain't nobody got time.
But what they had to do was they actually they got smart eventually. They decided, okay, we were super late, like super late to the digital party. Now what they're doing is their niche. They have digital, I think they have digital cameras now, but they're very niche in selling Polaroids as vintage. And it's
Yes.
old school kind of photographer
Nostalgia.
feel of vintage looks. They have a whole line of the new Polaroids that look, and they even have one that looks like a vintage Polaroid back from like the 70s.
Mhm.
If they're into stuff like that, then that's that bubble that they're in.
Because you know why? Because Gen, what is the one? Is it X, Z, Z, Gen Z, the one after me, one after millennials,
Oh,
Z. They're really nostalgic because of those things. So yes, Polaroid was extremely late to the market and probably missed out on millions and billions of dollars. But since, and lucky for them, Gen Z is so nostalgic because they truly don't have, since they were like raised online, they truly don't have anything that's just theirs.
mm-hmm.
Like that, like how 90s kids got, how 80 kids got. I guess they do have the fact that they were kind of just raised with digital technology, but honestly, everybody after them, like Gen Alpha, it's the same kind of thing,
Yeah.
and everything's so popcorn. So you really don't have that old school, only my generation kind of would know type of thing.
Yeah.
They don't really have that, so they kind of I compare Gen Z to boomers because they act alike a lot, and I know they're gonna be mad, and I kind of don't care, but because y'all have some similarities, like y'all kind of set in y'all ways. You can't really tell you nothing. You kind of got to smack you in the face before before you see what's going on. I mean, y'all kind of different taste. I mean, outside of, I'm not talking about like morality and this, that, and the other, but just how headstrong y'all are on things and
Mm-hmm.
how like bullheaded you are on some things. Like, and nobody can really tell you anything unless it happens to you. Like the show me type of personalities that y'all have. It's kind of tiff and tack. So I can kind of see why the old record players and the vinyl and the Polaroids and the old school telephone, the rotary dial, why that is so interesting and how you kind of gravitate towards that because they gravitate towards that nostalgic type of lifestyle, even though you'll we'll all melt down without the internet and and social media and the access that we have at this point. But
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I don't think so, but I could be.
So we got like 15 minutes left. Let's
Okay.
talk about maybe some ways to identify a possible unexpected business opportunity and maybe some things that you maybe need to do because what I want to make sure people leave with away from this is unexpected business opportunities happen all the time. The thing that you need to do is
Mhm.
to vet them to see, is it worth hedging your bet against? Because some of them are not. So what do you think are some good ways to kind of like identify and kind of vet if it's a really good unexpected business opportunity?
First and foremost, we said it before, paying attention. The type of climate that we're in now, especially if you're paying attention to all these social media apps, to all the podcasts, the whole woman, male versus whatever, misogyny, patriarchy, like that type of environment that we in now. The situation with Keke Palmer, I mean, it was obvious that I'm a Mother was gonna sell out because, like you said, you recognizing that you're gonna align yourself with a specific demographic of people who are in the midst of this conversation that's constantly going on up and down this feed. So just paying attention to the overall climate of politics, of the world view or perspective, or the diversity within that, you can make. It's always an audience out there if you're paying enough attention. If you're paying close enough attention, and even if your audience is small and niche, there's still multiple, that's still money right there.
Yep.
If you just paying attention. And two, like I said, being ready to release whatever you have in a rough state. You have to be willing to release it and get feedback on it, and then just adjust from there. Because when you realize, like Apple, when they first released the first phone didn't have a camera on it. And it wasn't because they couldn't put a camera on there, because they already had it, but they hyped it up enough and knew that people would buy it and come back 6 months later and get the second edition. They released that unfinished product. Thread released that unfinished product because guess what? They found a weakness. We all saw Elon, ever since he let that sink in, Elon has ran Twitter into the absolute ground. We've been seeing it. He's done one thing after another to run into the ground. Zuckerberg saw a weakness. That's a part of how you can identify an unexpected business opportunity.
Yep.
Paying attention to the climate, and they're still paying attention to the climate. You recognize a weakness. I see my way in. You have people that were on Twitter, avid Twitter users for years, getting upset and angry. And here comes Zuckerberg hiring his old people, Twitter's old, developers and this and that, and bam, here you go. I got a product. It's very unrefined. It's very unfinished. We don't know where it's going, but here you go. Y'all can use it if you want to. And 10 million people agree with him within 7 hours. Yeah, I want to use this because I don't have to deal with all the whatever's going on over Twitter. I don't have to pay for a subscription. I don't have to have a limit fee, a limit of how many scrolls a day. And it's reasons as to why there's a limit on what you can see over there on Twitter. It has something to do with him not owning the servers, and he legitimately can't afford for y'all to keep scrolling on there all day. But everybody knows the point of an app is to keep you on it all day.
Yeah.
That's how they make money. Like, that's the point. And if that app doesn't serve that anymore, death to the app. Nobody wants to be told, even though we know we might not need as much screen time, I don't want you to tell me to get off this app. I want to get off when I want to get off. Nobody wants to be told what to do. So that was a way of looking at the opportunity or finding the opportunity. And again, it always comes down to paying attention to the climate and not being afraid to release what you have to the people who are willing to get it.
Right.
Those are the main two ways. Finding those weaknesses, paying attention, and releasing what you got when you have it.
Yeah, we definitely live in a time now where you can't afford to be slow to market. You have to adopt a fail fast mentality. Get it out there, and if it's gonna fail, let it fail, and then come back and fix it. Very iterative in nature right now. You can't afford to sit back and think too long, because if you think too long, you think wrong, and somebody else gonna beat you to it.
Absolutely.
The other thing, and this can be applied in, if you're in a corporate space or in an entrepreneur space, it doesn't matter. But if please, y'all, if you just take 5 minutes, do a quick and dirty math in your head. What does this mean? Like, example, if you're working a job and you get a job offer, they always tell you in business to do what they call a cost benefit analysis, right? How much is this going to cost me versus what's the benefit? How you do that is you outline everything that you're going to end up paying versus everything that you end up gaining. And if you get more than you pay, it's good. But if it costs you more than what you get, don't do it. It's simple. But a lot of people don't think deep enough when they do the cost benefit analysis. For example, you get a new job offer, and the job you work at now is $75,000 a year. The job offer you want to take is $90,000 a year. Okay, well, you're getting $15,000 more or whatever. Yes, that's great. Yeah. However, have you looked at 401k investment? Do they match? Do they match the same percent as your other job matches? Have you looked at insurance? Are your premiums going to go up, or are they going to stay the same? What type of packages are they offering you? Have you looked at all the other fringe benefits? Like, do you get a car allowance? Do you get any type of allowance for internet in your home, or do you get money back for gas or anything like that? Those are all things that you need to think about when you're negotiating your new role in your new position and your new salary, because if the insurance costs more, that cuts into the money that you are going to get from the new job, right? You're essentially cutting into the profit that you would have gotten, and then next thing you know, you're upside down. You've taken a new job, but you pay more for insurance, you pay more for this, you pay more for that, and you don't get the raise that you thought you were going to get. Same thing applies in business. When this new business opportunity pops up in your lap, take 5 minutes to run some numbers in your head to say, okay, it's going to cost me this to print, this to market, this to this. Can I get it out fast enough? And do I have enough of a leeway to actually get some type of profit off of this? Or is it going to cost me too much money and it's really not worth me doing? A lot of entrepreneurs make this misstep, especially the ones that do products, because you get a special request for a product that you make that's outside of your wheelhouse, and you're thinking, oh, I can make this into a business opportunity. But have you thought about what you actually put into the product to make it? How many more hours does it cost you to make this specialty product than it does your regular run rate product? And how much more are the materials that you use in order to make it versus what you normally use? Okay, well, your cost just went up, your time just went up. So are you going to charge the same price? Are you going to continue to do this? Are you going to take special requests? Like, those are the things you need to ask, and you have to do it fast. It's not I need to take a month to analyze. You have to do this in a window of time for you to be able to know how to move and what you're going to do next.
Yeah.
And I think you missed that.
Yeah, I don't know if they miss it because, like I said, I always feel like it's a level of second guessing there. You know what I mean? We always kind of second guess. We don't want to make a mistake. We don't want to, whatever has happened to a lot of entrepreneurs out there within their past lives or their younger selves, it really kind of halts them from just release, like you said, really, like releasing the thing. Like, do that quick math. That math doesn't take 17 months to do. Like, you can hit that up in your head real fast. If I can do that. Right. So, like, I know it's so many opportunities out there. Even like if you go viral, learning, like you said, what part of that resonates with the audience of you going viral. It's not going to be the whole thing. It could just be one thing, and you can make merch out of that. You can get deals out of that. You can partner with brands or people who align themselves with that cause. As long as if you feel passionate about that cause and you don't think it's something that's problematic down the line, that's gonna come back and bite you in the butt or something like that, or even if it is, like, there's people have made whole platforms off of problematic things. So whatever that is, there literally is a business opportunity out there for every industry, every person in that industry is just about paying attention, keeping your ears to the ground, listening, and just fastly calculating those things up and then putting it out there
Right.
in its raw state, and then making those tweaks as you go. Because I don't know, like if you put out perfection and the people don't accept that perfection, how traumatizing or how detrimental would that be to your overall self confidence, your overall ego, your overall self being? Versus me putting out a rough draft, and I know it's a rough draft, and I can make tweaks. You know
Right.
how attached you are to your so-called perfect project or your perfect service, or I can't imagine.
Right.
I cannot
And
imagine.
the golden part about that is to what you're saying. That's the key of everything, honestly, because the best part about that is the faster you do it, even if it's like not quite where you want it to be, you're going to spend time and money on it regardless. Whether you work
Hmm.
on it for a period of time and put out something rough, or you work on it a really long time and put out something perfect. It's sunk cost. You can't get any of that money or that time back. Do it faster so that you spend less in the beginning and you have more towards the tweaks and the adjustments to get it right versus you investing, because like you said, you invested time and money into your perfect product and you launch your perfect product and then it fails and you're pissed that it fails because you put so much time and money into it, and now you got to circle back and put more time and money into it, perfecting it and redeveloping it or changing it. Be cyclical with that. Do it quicker so that
Hmm.
it's failed. I need to circle back and do. You'll save so much time and money doing it in a cycle like that versus spending all of your ducks and money working towards one set idea that you don't even know is going to work, or you haven't positioned it in a way where it's going to be foolproof. It just
Yeah,
doesn't work.
because now even on that, if you put it out a perfect, what you think is a perfect product, and everybody should love this, and it bombs, now you're bitter
Yeah.
while you're fixing it. You So the intention and the energy that you put in there, that's not going to work either, because you're coming from a bad state of mind, and you putting that type of energy in this product. It's no longer, to me, something that's set out with good intentions anymore.
Right.
Coming
and
in
and
it
that's
bitterly.
best to fail fast, because the faster you fail, the faster you can get up. But if you put
Hmm.
time and stuff into something, you fail, it takes you even that much time or longer to recover
Hmm.
because you put so much intention and energy and everything else into it, and you were sure that it was going to work out. And emotionally, that's traumatizing to you to try it, to see your baby and it just collapsed. So when you work on like projects like that, just do it, throw it out there, see who likes it, see who doesn't, and fail really fast because you get up just as fast.
Yeah, and we're not saying put out trash. By
No,
no means are we telling you don't put any thought into it and just put out the first thing that comes to your mind. No, that's literally not what we're saying. We're telling you to pay attention to the climate and what's going on. See where the people land at, and where they side, and if that aligns with your interests, your values, your personality, all these things, because there's still work and time that has to go into
yeah,
it. We're just telling you, don't spend 14 of your years working and perfecting something that nobody even knows about, and you put it out there thinking that the world is supposed to just take on it, but it's perfect for you. You never did any soft launches or put it out there to see how the public is going to take it. This is what we're talking about. Don't be afraid to put it out in its raw. Let's just see if I have an audience for this. Let's just see if it will take off and what the people are looking for.
yeah,
That's what we have with threads now. Like, we legitimately, they just put that out there. I know he probably had been working on it, and they already was seeing the weaknesses, and it was just the timing of it was perfect, because it was back-to-back things that was going on over the Twitter, and it's like, here you go.
Right.
And now that's out there, people have signed up for it. Now they're gonna make tweaks and algorithms and this and that and more features. And the people are fine with it.
Yep.
As they build, we're saying, okay, we want to be able to toggle between accounts. We want a better algorithm to filter out these people. I don't want to see whomever pop up on a page. There's no reason for this person to pop up.
Lord.
Like
No.
but
My feed, and I was like, see, no.
their Paris Hilton popped up on mine. I'm like, baby, what is this? But I was like, well, no. No. So we got 30 seconds. We hope you learned something. And I guess they're going to cut us out. My bad. So we appreciate y'all coming back, even though it's been 2 months for us. Hopefully you guys have learned something and y'all picked up some nuggets, and y'all not going to be afraid to get out there and release your raw stuff and make some money off of it and grow. So we'll see y'all next week, and we'll let y'all know what we're talking about.
All right. Bye, y'all.